All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we start, can I just remind everybody to turn off your mobile phones and or switch to silent, please. Live streaming is now commencing. Thank you. Councillors, staff and guests, I'd ask you to stand, please. Good evening, councillors, members of the gallery and staff, and to our viewers live streaming tonight's meeting. My name is Graham Milne. I'm the current Mayor of the Buloke Shire Council and Chairperson of tonight's council meeting. It's my pleasure to welcome you to tonight's council. Before we start tonight, I've got a couple of remarks that I'd like to make. We'd like to acknowledge the tragic loss of Layla Jeffrey. On behalf of Buloke Shire Council, I extend our heartfelt condolences to Layla's family, friends, classmates, teachers and everyone in our community who is grieving this devastating loss. Like many across Buloke, we were saddened by this tragedy and recognise the profound impact it has had on our community. Council continues to work alongside partner agencies to support the well-being of our residents and ensure that assistance is available to those who need it. I would also like to acknowledge and sincerely thank Victoria Police, all emergency services personnel, community volunteers, support agencies and our own council staff who have contributed to the response and ongoing support of our community. Their professionalism, compassion and dedication during this difficult time have been deeply appreciated. Tonight, councillors are wearing a touch of pink in honour of Layla and as a sign of our support for all those who are affected. And this was an initiative started early in the week by clubs within the Donald community. Our thoughts remain with Layla's loved ones and the wider Donald community during this difficult time. Thank you, councillors, staff and members of the gallery and those online for being here for this opening remark. Thank you. So we'll remain standing. And we will acknowledge the traditional owners on the land of which we are meeting and pay our respects to the elders and to elders from other communities who may be here also. You may be seated. Thank you. This council meeting is being recorded and web streamed live to council's website via YouTube. This recording will also be available as video on demand. Attendees are advised they will be recorded during this meeting. A reminder that councillors, as councillors, we will act in accordance with the Councillor Model Code of Conduct, which will support the principles of leadership and good governance that secure public confidence in the office of councillor. Councillors and officers in attendance tonight, I will introduce the councillors who are here tonight. Councillor Charmaine Delaney, Mount Jeffcott Ward. Councillor Alan Getley, Mallee Ward. Councillor Bernadette Hogan from the Mallee Ward. Councillor Bruce Stafford from the Lower Avoca Ward. And Councillor Stephen Barrett, also from the Lower Avoca Ward. I also introduce Mr Daniel McLaughlin, our Chief Executive Officer and Executive Management Team. We have Salome, Acting Director of Corporate and Organisational Performance. We have Callie Burmester, Acting Director of Community Development. We also have Anthony Smith, Acting Manager of Governance, Paula Gardner, Senior Manager of Assets and Delivery, and Georgia Brown, Senior Executive Assistant. I would also like to acknowledge Jade Benham, MP, who is seated in the gallery, or actually in the staff quarters tonight, this evening after attending Council of Australian Citizenship ceremony earlier. We thank her for joining us. Thank you, Jade. Item 2, we have apologies tonight from Travis Fitzgibbon, Director of Infrastructure and Delivery. Are there any other apologies? No other apologies, thank you. Item 3, confirmation of minutes of the previous meeting. Councillors, could I please have a motion of confirmation of the minutes of the council meeting that were held on the 17th of June 2026, commencing at 7 p.m. Councillor Barrett, thank you. Seconder for that motion, please. Councillor Hogan. Thank you very much. All in favour of that? That's carried. Thank you. Item 4 is the request for leave of absence. Are there any requests for leave of absence this evening, councillors?
Yes, Mr Mayor. We'd like to request a leave of absence from the 26th of July to the 30th of July.
So, Councillor Barrett has requested leave from the 26th to the 30th. Can I have somebody prepared to move that motion, please? Councillor Getley, thank you. A seconder for that motion. Councillor Delaney. All those in favour? Thank you, that's carried. Enjoy your few days off. So item 5 is declaration of pecuniary and conflict of interest. Councillors and officers, are there any conflicts of interest to declare?
Nope.
No.
There's indication that there's no conflicts of interest, so we will move on. Item 6, questions from the public. We do not have any questions from the public that's been received tonight, so we will move on past that and into item 7, procedural items. Councillors, do I have a motion for this item, the government's report, July 2026? Councillor Hogan. A seconder, please. Councillor Delaney. Councillor Hogan, would you like to speak to the...
Would you like me to read the recommendation?
Yes, please. Sorry.
That's fine, Mr Mayor.
Should have got that done.
That's okay. The recommendation is that Council firstly notes the record of council assemblies and meetings held. Secondly, notes the record of councillor briefings as attachment 7.1.1 and 7.1.2 to this report. Thirdly, notes the Chief Executive Officer activity report. Fourthly, notes the status of actions report for council resolutions at attachment 7.1.3 to this report. Next is the notes the contract entered into for this period in accordance with the increased financial delegation provided to the Chief Executive Officer of 1.5 million, excluding GST. And lastly, notes the summary of the minutes from the Audit and Risk Committee meeting held Wednesday 13th of May 2026 as attachment 7.1.4 to this report.
Thank you, Councillor Hogan, and I will reconfirm the seconder, please.
Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Delaney, you're happy to second that. Councillor Hogan, would you like to speak to your motion?
This is fairly much a procedural motion, but I'd just like to mention the governance report in relation to the contract C139 2025-26 provision of flood mapping services across Buloke Shire. And this is the reason why the CEO's delegation has been increased. This is a project which will be very beneficial to the council. It will give us a better understanding of what the changes to landform and road and rail infrastructure are and how the decommissioning of the channels has changed the behaviour of floodwater across the Shire. So let's hope we get a really good result from our understanding of how these changes have made an impact on us and will in the future. So an important study. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hogan. Councillor Delaney.
Yes, Mr Mayor, in regards to the contract C139 to 25-26 provision of flood mapping services, the engagement is key to this project, and whilst it will be supported by authorities, its success is equally reliant on general knowledge held within all Buloke communities. I encourage our community to be involved in this project.
Thank you, Councillor Delaney. Does anybody else like to speak? Councillor Stafford.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Just following on from Councillor Hogan and Councillor Delaney's comments, given the history of flood events across the Shire, to be commencing this key piece of work is really pleasing. And I'm sure it'll be well received by many communities with the flood mapping and detailed studies to be delivered for Charlton, Donald and Witchyproof.
Thank you, Councillor Stafford. Is there anybody else? Councillor Getley.
Thank you, Mayor. Just following on, this project will assess the feasibility of a range of potential flood mitigation options for both Charlton and Witchyproof. Any practical, achievable outcomes like the demountable levy in Donald would be an exciting result, and hopefully we can acquire funding when this is done. Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you, Councillor Getley. Are there any other comments?
I'd just like to concur,
Thank
Mr Mayor, that the flooding situation that we get present with every now and again, this report would go well to excuse me, the report would go well to alleviate some of our concerns in the near future.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. It certainly will. Before I have a comment, I'll put this for the vote. All those in favour? Thank you. That's carried. I guess a comment from myself. I'm in the engagement of Water Technology Proprietary Limited. It is an exciting step forward for this project. I mean, we've been wanting this to be done for a long time now, and as has been said, it will help us with anything that we want to do. There's a strong sense of optimism, I think, around as this project moves from planning into delivery. So it'll be good to get the results, and a keen interest is sort of been shown in the works to see the works get into progress and get the results back in that we can finally get some of the drainage works that have been on hold for some time because we've been waiting for this important piece of work to be done. So I have no doubt that the CEO is very excited about this particular piece of work. So. Thank you.
Patience is a virtue.
Patience is a virtue, yes. So thank you, councillors. We will move on to 8, general business. Policy reports, we have none tonight. 8.2, management reports. And I'll just get to it so I don't miss it. 8.2.1, Planning Scheme Amendment C47 Buloke Shire Donald flood mapping. Adopt and seek approval from the ministers. Councillor, do I have somebody who's prepared to move this item, please? Councillor Delaney, thank you. And you'll give us your recommendation.
The recommendation that Council adopts Planning Scheme Amendment C47 block. That's 1. 2, Planning Authority submits the amendment to the Minister for Planning for approval of the Planning Scheme Amendment C47 block. 3, authorise the Acting Director Community Development to make any further minor editorial changes to the amendment C47 documents prior to submitting to the Minister for Planning for approval and gazettal.
Thank you, Councillor Delaney. Do I have a seconder for this motion, please? Councillor Barrett, thank you. Councillor Delaney, would you like to speak to your motion?
Yes, thank you, Mr Mayor. This planning scheme amendment is a very positive outcome for residents in Donald and Charlton, which highlights the benefit of flood mitigation works that are being completed, including the mitigation works near Clifton Street in Charlton and the construction of mechanical levee on the western side of the Avoca River on Camp Street in Donald. Looking ahead, the completion of the eastern mechanical levee in Donald and new flood studies offer further opportunities to reduce planning overlays and restrictions, supporting future development, investment and growth within our township. I consider this a positive amendment.
Thank you, Councillor Delaney. Councillor Barrett, would you like to speak?
Yes, Mr Mayor, I concur with what Councillor Delaney was commenting there, and further to that, I think it would help in the insurance side of things for those residents that are in those said zones.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Are there anybody else like to speak to this motion? No, thank you very much. Either for or against, I'll put the vote. All those in favour of the motion?
Right.
That is carried. Thank you very much. Again, another important amendment to our planning. It probably doesn't give us a lot more land that we can use, but it certainly makes the use of that land a lot easier for planners and people that occupy it, or may occupy it in the future. It takes out that flooding overlay that would be a nuisance. So we thank our planners and the team for putting this together. It's it'll be very beneficial in the future. So we'll move on to 8.3, financial reports, which we have nil of tonight. It's not the month for those. So we'll move on to 8.4.1, Buloke Shire Council Community Satisfaction Report 2026. Just getting there. Councillors, do I have a motion for this very important piece of work? Councillor Stafford. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. The motion is that Council 1 notes the results of the Buloke Shire Council Community Satisfaction Report 2026, and 2 endorses the Buloke Shire Council Community Satisfaction Report 2026 to be placed on Council's website to be viewed and accessed by the public.
Thank you, Councillor Stafford. Do I have a seconder, please, for this, Councillor? Oh, geez.
We're all after this one, yeah.
I'll go Councillor Hogan, beat you, Councillor Getley. Councillor Hogan.
Thank
But you'll all get an opportunity. Councillor Stafford, would you like to speak further to this important?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Yeah, the results of the survey show a really strong improvement in community satisfaction. Overall performance has risen 10 points to 51, so that's an outstanding result. While residents identified sealed and unsealed roads as the top infrastructure priority, and Council recognises that more work is needed in that area, the survey also highlighted the helpfulness, responsiveness and professionalism of staff across Council services. So I think a big pat on the back to all the staff for helping to raise the results by a full 10 points, which I think is absolutely outstanding.
Yep. No, totally agree. Thank you, Councillor Stafford. Councillor Hogan, would you like to speak?
Yes, I would. Community confidence in Council's management of public funds has improved by 9 points this year, reflecting increased trust in how this Council invests in its local infrastructure and services. Council recognises the need to continue improving transparency around how Shire rates are spent, and we remain committed to delivering value for money, refining the budget process and making decisions that provide long-term benefits for all Buloke communities. So, and it's nice to see that aim of ours and strategy is being recognised in the public arena. So it's great.
It sure is, Councillor Hogan. Thank you very much. Is there anybody else like to speak? And I'll go to Councillor Getley first. He's missed out on being...
No, all been taken care of nicely. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you very much. Councillor Barrett.
Yes, thanks, Mr Mayor. Once again, waste management, it continues to be a strong point in our Shire, and it's increased this year, although we always do better, obviously. But apart from the points on the board from this survey, I would like to just personally like to thank the staff and councillors as well for the year that we've had so far because we've had some trying times regarding our couple of floods, bushfires, and this latest event. And so I think that it's not reflected in this satisfaction survey, but I think it should be. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Councillor Delaney, do you have a comment, or are you happy?
No, Mr Mayor, just echoing everybody's sentiments and thanking staff and councillors for their collective effort in making sure that everything remains transparent to the community and for all the good work.
Thank you. I will reserve my comment for now, but I'll, if we can all vote, please, I'll put this to the vote. All those in favour? Thank you, councillors. That is also a carried motion. I guess the satisfaction survey for this report for 2026, it's give our community opportunity to give feedback, and I think they've got to be commended as well for participating in the survey. Shire, I guess everybody wants to have their say about Shire in some way, but some would just like it to go away altogether. I know of some people who just say no and hang up. But thanks to the people that did provide feedback, to increase by 10 points is a good positive, and it demonstrates progress in how council, I think, engages with the residents on important local issues. And that's, over the past, we've had difficulty in engaging on some topics, but we keep trying, and we keep going out there to our public to gauge their thoughts. Council certainly encourages residents to continue participating in consultations. It's the only way we get to hear your point of view. The forums and engagement activities to help shape future priorities and decisions all the way through a council year. There's opportunities everywhere to do that. And as we enter a new year of delivering against our council plan, there will be more ample opportunity, and that will give you the opportunity to inform some of the incredibly key pieces of our budget going forward and our work that we need to do into the future. So I also acknowledge that this year's survey was under a new supplier, which does give us a bit of a range of things that were can be compared to the old surveyor, but a bit of fresh air, I guess, is good, and this contractor for this survey has been able to provide the information that we certainly need to go forward. So I note also in some commentary around the state that some commentators don't believe that the amount of points that some councils have jumped up to be accurate, and I just say to them, the figures are the figures. So we acknowledge that there's some weak points within this satisfaction report. There's a number of things which mostly relate to roads and the condition of those, and we also remind our ratepayer that we are still struggling to get finances for some of this, and that every day that it's held over, the roads get worse and the government gets away with it. So we will continue to advocate on our behalf and your behalf to try and get this money to get these roads up to scratch. And it's very nice to have our local member sitting in here nodding in agreement, because I've got no doubt she agrees with exactly what we're saying. We just got to get others to get on her side and get it through. But thank you, councillors and staff, for this report. Another good result, and we look forward to the feedback from our public on this and learn and grow from it. So I'll move on. That's enough from me. Enough waffle. Can do that well, Dan. Reports from councillors. Councillors, I've got no doubt we've all submitted reports. Would anybody like to... Councillor Gatley, I'll start with you. Is there anything out of your report you'd like to highlight?
Thank you, Mayor. Probably the highlight was the Nandaly Biggest Morning Tea, which I attended with our local member over there, and Councillor Barrett and Councillor Hogan. Great little effort there, but just one thing to probably mention is that I continue to rock up to the V&I West meetings that are on throughout the planning. It's not getting any easier, it's getting sort of harder. Obviously the top one there then on my report was cancelled due to the protesters entering the building and couldn't continue. We are starting to get some decent information out of VicGrid at long last that's coming through, and hopefully that information, be it factual enough, will make that a bit easier going forward. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Gatley. I'll move around to Councillor Stafford.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. The one thing I wanted to highlight from my report is another Biggest Morning Tea. That was the Charlton CWA one. And if you've ever been to a do that the Charlton CWA put on, they put on a really good shindy. The Lions Lodge was packed. I couldn't get a seat, in fact. There's well over 50 people there, and I believe they delivered another 50 morning teas to local businesses and individuals around town. Not sure how much they raised, but it was a substantial amount, and they need a pat on the back for a really, really good effort and a good fundraising shindig for a good cause.
A good cause. Thank you, Councillor Stafford. I think there's a bit of a theme starting to come here that councillors like a feed. So we'll move on to Councillor Delaney and see whether this continues.
No, Mr Mayor, not on this side. Just my report as stated. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Delaney. Councillor Hogan.
I'd just like to mention on the 4th of June, I represented the Mayor at the Swan Hill Police District Medals presentation, and it was a really lovely recognition of the service of our dedicated local district police force, and I think it would definitely is timely in that we've seen that dedication and that really excellent service on display in the last week in Donald and surrounds, and yeah, it was just a really lovely celebration and really enjoyable. So I'll take your spot next year too, thanks.
Yeah, good on you, thank you.
Good on you, thank you.
It might be me taking your spot.
Yeah. Married on.
And is there anything else there, Councillor Hogan?
Just Nandaly was a really lovely morning, and yeah, it was great to see Jade there and to spend time with the other councillors and the really lovely people of Nandaly who put on a great show whenever they have one.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's where you got to send your boys. If you've got sons, you've got to send them to these biggest morning teas to pick out their future wife.
Yeah.
Good
idea.
Especially if
Who
they
can
cook.
cook and who can't.
Yeah.
Yep, I think that's a definite. Councillor Barrett, would you like to comment?
I can't beat that Nandali morning tea, but anyway, apart from that, no, nothing really major. It's as reported there, and keep up the good work with those communities like Nandali.
Yeah, look, exactly. So my list is fairly extensive there that I've submitted as well. A number of things, I guess, in there that are all worthy of talking about. And I won't talk about morning tea, so that you didn't get to any of them. But I guess a number of meetings that we've had with the North West Alliance, the alliance that's been formed to advocate on behalf of councils within this area. It's been doing some good work, and certainly that was evident in our trip to Canberra, where we over the 3 days that we were there, we managed to I think get 9 visits to Parliament House, with different people going at different times and representing different aspects of what they require for their councils and as a collective, as a group of councils. So I found that to be a very interesting experience. Been described as many as a junket. I guess it is a junket if you go there and do nothing. But the time and effort that our CEO put into organising, as he would say, herding the cats, to try and get them all in order and at the right place at the right time and all have something to contribute was fantastic, and he did lead the way, so we thank you, Mr CEO, for your leadership up there. Within the hours of the conference, I'll add. So, a number of other things there. I did have the opportunity to represent the CEO at the Grampians Wimmera Valley Tourism Board meeting in Birchip. I found that to be an interesting experience. I'm not sure just where all that will go, but certainly it's in good hands, the Grampians Wimmera Valley Tourism, and I think as tourism providers, well, there's still a lot of work to be done in our area to be able to make the most of what opportunities there. And of course, another opportunity was to meet with Dr. Webster in Warwick-Nabil to put our case on a number of things, which were well received, and that was also part of the Alliance meeting. But a number of things listed there for people to read, and a busy month and I'm not looking forward to next month's report. So, unless there's anything else councillors want to add to that, we'll move on. And no.
I apologise.
That's all right. We'll move on to number 9, other business. Sorry for the pause, but I'm just a male, single male with reading it, disability reading. Notices of motion, other business. So number 9.1.1, joining the multi-council glass advocacy campaign.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Mr Mayor, I'd like to present this notice of motion that Council 1 notes the Victorian Government's requirement for all councils to implement a separate curbside glass recycling service by 1 July 2027 under the Circular Economy Waste Reduction and Recycling Act 2021. Acknowledge the concerns raised by the Coalition of Victorian Councils regarding the financial, operational and practical impacts of the mandatory glass bin service, particularly for rural and regional communities. 3. Resolve to join and support the multi-council advocacy campaign calling on the Victorian Government to A. Release the business case supporting the mandatory curbside glass recycling service. B. Review the economic and environmental merits of the proposed service. C. Consider the expansion of the Victorian Container Deposit Scheme to include wine and spirit bottles as an alternative or complementary approach to glass recovery and build upon the 2 over-the-counter collection points within Buloke at Charlton and at Donald. D. Defer the mandatory implementation date until councils have had sufficient opportunity to assess the business case, understand the impacts on their communities and evaluate the effectiveness of the container deposit scheme. And E. Provide greater flexibility for councils to determine the most appropriate glass recovery solution for their municipalities. 4. Write to the Minister for Environment, the Honourable Steve Demopoulos, MP, the MAV of Victoria, local members of Parliament, particularly participating councils, advising that Buloke Shire Council supports the advocacy position. 5. Advocate alongside the multi-council advocacy group and through relevant regional and state local government forums regarding the impacts of the proposed mandatory glass bin service on rural communities. And 6. Undertake local communications campaign to raise the awareness of the existing free glass recycling service, promote the environmental and community benefits it provides and showcase local success stories demonstrating the positive impact of the container deposit scheme. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Getley. That was a mouthful, but it's all very appropriate. Can I have somebody to second that motion, please? Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Councillor Getley.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, look, this is another one of those harebrained schemes that the state government seem to come up with at sometimes. It certainly does not help Buloke in any way. Our vast population is spread out of a big distance. The cost to them, to those ratepayers, to have this scheme in place will be enormous and provide very little risk. Our bins that we use at the moment are being well received, even though we get a little bit of rubbish in from time to time. They are well used. We've got to join with the other councils and make some noise about this one, and this motion does it, and I put it before the vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Getley. Councillor Barrett.
Yes, thanks, Mr Mayor. I agree with Councillor Getley. It's a stupid idea being enforced again on councils that don't require it. Some of the councils already in the bigger towns are already getting rid of them. They've gone from fortnightly to a monthly collection service, so that's telling us something that's not warranted. So we definitely do not need this imposed on us at this council.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Is there any other councillors who'd like to speak on this particular motion? Councillor Hogan, thank you.
I'd just like to emphasise what's already been stated, that this is going to be an unnecessary cost to council. It's inefficient in the way that it duplicates services which we've already, we've got glass out bins which have already been installed, which we just need to provide a little bit of education across our communities to make sure they use them. And we've often, in a number of our towns, have got glass collection projects going on which benefit communities, community aims. We've got the local football club has glass bins to raise money to help students go on overseas trips at the local school. So I don't think that there's really any need for this major impost and increase in cost to our council, and people just won't enjoy having to drag another bin around, I wouldn't have thought, and find somewhere to put it. So we definitely need to make a stand on this, I think. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hogan. Any other comments before we put this to the vote? No, thank you very much. Then I ask all those in favour? Unanimous, that's carried. Look, and I guess my comment is that, and I've used this example about, I don't know, 100 times. The little old mother-in-law, 91 years old, uses empties one jam jar in 6 months and maybe a sauce bottle in the other 6 months. Hell of a cost to her to put out 2 jars a year for the purpose of collecting glass. And if you look out the back of this particular establishment tonight, which I did on the way in the glass collection container, it's 2/3, 3/4 full out there of glass. So it is working in communities. And I do say that if they bring in wine and spirit bottles, then I've got dibs on that container, because it's chock-a-block full of wine and spirit bottles. So some establishments in the town are using it very well, but this is a big impost on country people who have other opportunity, and I guess it's not just country people, but people who are finding it hard to manage the cost of living, having to pay another bin cost for very little benefit, as in very little use. The benefit is huge if you take glass out, but it's costly if you're paying that much money for a couple of items a year. So thank you for that motion. It's a very important one to move with the other councils that are already in it, and hopefully we can make some difference with it.
That'll be good.
9.2, questions from councillors. Are there any questions? Councillor Delaney.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've had as a comment made to myself, and I know to Mr. Mayor and the CEO, regarding the yield sign in McCulloch and Houston Street. I've since had another person that travels that road on a regular basis saying he feels quite strongly that it should go from a yield sign to a stop sign, simply because it is becoming an increasing danger. If council could consider that, please.
So we'll get that more detail from you.
Thank you.
And that'll go into sort of a works order or other. But thank you for that, Councillor Delaney. Any other councillors with questions, comments? Councillor Hogan.
While we're on signs, with our beautiful new silo art in Birchip, a number of local people are being questioned daily as to how to find it. So could we please get some signs in place to show people when they visit Birchip where to go to visit the silo art? It's silo art's been there for a little while now, and it'd be great if we could just get some signs on the ground to keep our tourists happy. Thank you.
Thank you. Other councillors with questions? Councillor Barrett.
Mr. Mayor, I had a request yesterday regarding and I know it's not our building, well, I don't think it's our building, the post office toilet in Witchy, currently closed, and I'm led to believe that there is an arrangement where it is open and we clean it, but I don't know, So if staff could get back to me with that, would be great. Thank you.
This item has come up in the past, a couple of years ago, and I just can't remember what the arrangement was, but
Right up now.
our staff will
Yeah.
get an answer for you, and you can feed that back to the public. Thank you, Councillor Barrett. It's a toilet block that not many people know is there, I guess, but it's very handy where it is. So, other councillors? Nothing from this side. A couple of things from myself, I guess. I ask that that in our advocacy to Vic Roads, that we again push the position of the Five Ways intersection in Bircham, given that there was another near miss there this week, where a local resident very nearly got T-boned. So we certainly have that on our list of things to push for, but certainly make sure that it remains a high priority for council in talking to Vic Roads, and certainly Sunraysia Highway Committee improvements still one of their number one priorities. But we are finding more and more of these near misses happening, and unfortunately they're not recorded, as I understand, at Vic Roads anymore. So it's important that we record them in places like this, so that there is evidence that that things have happened, and that somewhere down the track we'll be able to say we told you so, which is always too late when somebody's injured or worse. So I bring that to our attention again. And while it's not a question, but I'm going to do a Leo on council comments. It was remiss of me earlier to not mention that I had a phone call today from Daniel Linklater from Wentworth Shire Council, expressing his condolences to the Buloke community for the events that have happened in Donald this past week, and that's one of a number that I've had, but I have sort of suggested a few of the other ex-councillors and members of our community that have reached out. But Daniel was today or tonight going to wear a pink ribbon and acknowledge the tragedy that's happened in Donald this week at his council meeting tonight up there. So we thank the people from around the state and around Australia that have reached out over the last few days to acknowledge the trouble that we've been through and that we'll go through for some time yet. So phone calls like Daniel's today are very heartwarming and very much appreciated. So I will leave that at that at this point in time, and if there's no other questions, we'll move on to 9.3, urgent business. Do we have any urgent business? No urgent business. 9.4, any other business that needs to be discussed? We have no other business. 9.5, matters which may exclude the public. We have no matters in that section to deal with, so it brings me to item 10, which is meeting close at 7:45 p.m, and I thank everybody for their attendance, their input, and wish you a safe trip home. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.